Hello, everyone. You're completing this ed puzzle to walk you through your new little project you have. So I'm calling it like a mini project because it's not huge, okay? It's just now that you've learned about these 16 different freedom fighters, choose one that's your favorite and then honor them in some way. So here's what the directions say. Honoring the freedom fighters of the 19th century, directions and project overview. Freedom fighters you learned about. David Walker, Frederick Douglass, Francis Ellen Watkins Harper, 500 Enslaved People of Louisiana, Angelina and Sarah Grimke, William Still, John Brown, William Lloyd Garrison, Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner, Mariah Stewart, Elizabeth Jennings, Henry Box Brown, Sojourner Truth, John Brown, and Harriet Robinson Scott and Dred Scott. So again, you learned about all of them in those two sets of Google Slides we did in Google Classroom last week and this week called Rise Up, Resistance. There's part 1 and there's part 2. For this project, you will honor one of the freedom fighters we learned about these past 2 weeks by creating something, art, poem, infographic, etc. It's up to you, that spreads the message about who they are and why they should be known as a freedom fighter. The main purpose is to spread the message of the awesomeness of your chosen freedom fighter, whatever you envision, however you want to honor them. It is up to you. Here are your steps for completion. Choose the person, see the list above. So there's your list. Choose the person you want to honor from that list and write their name here. So in Google Classroom, you have this document that you can edit and you'll write their name right there. Next, choose how you want to honor your freedom fighter and write your choice in the box below. Your choices are digital art, hand-drawn art, poetry, an infographic, or a video. Here are the general guidelines for each choice. So if you look at this document, you'll see that there is some bullet points for what I mean by each thing. For digital or hand-drawn art, if you want to choose this option, it must be an original work of art, meaning you don't just find a picture of the person on the internet and then copy and paste that into a slide and say, there's my art. But you can find a picture of the person on the internet and then do a self-portrait of them as your art, fine. The art may be in any form, but should be professional and show considerable care and effort. It should honor the freedom fighter and be something that you're proud of. The art must be inspired by, include references to, or information from the sources that we examine in class, and clearly represent your chosen person. If you chose hand-drawn art, you can take a photo of it to submit for your final draft. Poetry. Let's say you choose to write a poem. If you choose this option, you must write your own poem, or you could do a set of poems if you want to do like little mini poems inspired by your freedom fighter. The poems can be in any form. They do not need to rhyme. I linked some examples of poems here, and then I linked an example poem about Charles DeLon, the person who led the 500 enslaved people in Louisiana, that you could read as inspiration. The poem must be inspired by, include references to, or information from the sources we examine in class, and clearly represent your chosen person. An infographic. Students who choose this option will use Google Drawing to create an infographic about their person. An infographic is like a digital poster. It includes facts and images. And here's an example. And I know those of you who had Mr. Latimer last year made a lot of infographics because I helped him to create those. So if you don't know what an infographic is, but you think you want to do it, message me and I will send you a video that walks you through how to make one. But I know a lot of you already know how. The design of the infographic should be organized and professional. The number of images and facts you include is up to you. I'm letting this be a very simple project. It should simply teach about your person and honor their fight for freedom. All text and images in the infographic should be linked to sources from the slides. Don't include anything that you don't link. If you want to make a video, because you like making videos, if you choose this option, you can make a documentary that can include your voice or not your voice and just have images and text on the screen. It's up to you. It should be at least 1 minute. So only 1 minute is the requirement. In length, it should be engaging, like interesting to watch, include some sort of audio element, whether that's music or voiceover, images and text. And the editing, of course, should be smooth and all audio should be clear. So going back to our project, that's what you'll do next. You'll write, what are you going to make? Then you will do what's called planning your creation. There's going to be an item called the planning document attached to this assignment in Google Classroom. So I'm going to open that right now. Your planning document that you're going to fill out is just what it sounds like. It's just you planning your project. And has this purple background. I'm just asking you again, what's the name of your freedom fighter? What are you going to make? And then asking you specifically. You shouldn't be Googling new information. You're going to go to your slides that you already have, right? So if you go to Google Classroom, you're going to open up all those slides that you've already made. So sorry, I'm going to open up the slides. that are from this week, part 2, and last week, part 1. So again, you guys have Rise Up Resistance part 2 and Rise Up Resistance part 1. Looking at those slides, it's either 1 or 2 slides related to your person. You're going to write down, okay, what do you want your creation to tell about your freedom fighter? What's your freedom fighter known for? What's special about them? And then how are you going to show what you learned? So tell me specifically, like what facts are you actually going to include in your poem or your video, your infographic, or even in your art? What is your art going to look like if you're going to make art? What type of poetry are you going to do? What type of video are you going to do? All of those things. What is it going to look like? You'll show me this document when you're done, and then you'll just get creating. Beyond this, I don't have any more drafts you need to make, and I'm only going to give you 3 days in class, not counting today. Today is like a little bonus day. And then Monday, the idea is that you finish your planning document and get started, and you have all of class Tuesday and all of class Wednesday. Not a lot of time because it's a simple project. In the end, all you're doing is making something to honor one of these people. It doesn't have to be elaborate, but it should be something special that you're proud of. If you have any questions, of course, as always, please, please, please ask me in any way that you want to ask me over GoGuardian, on the Zoom private messaging, or an email, of course. And if you want to know how you're graded, here are the criteria for grading that I will be using. All right, everyone. Thank you for trying your best. And again, please let me know when you have questions.